So I promise I didn't get complacent. Um, Funny thing is, this episode was actually supposed to come out like back on Monday or something like that, or Sunday night. But the first part of the recording that I did, apparently the mic was off or something. Like none of my audio got captured, and I was really pissed. So had to start over, and I never did get around to that because this week's schedule was fucking crazy. Instead of just all night shifts, it was just all over the place. But anyway, it's kind of like a two-in-one today. And then I'm gonna do another episode. It'll probably be out next week. But I may just go ahead and record it after this one. But basically, this is what makes me even more upset. I'm like over a week behind on this. But oh, I'm sorry, I was reading an article off to the side. But basically, we're going over the Switch hardware concept that's apparently in mass production, which got leaked. I'm just going over the images and then something called the shipping details summary. So I wanted to go over the header image from my NintendoNews.com. And you've got your regular Switch setup, the left Joy-Con, the screen, the right Joy-Con. The bezels look small enough to be compared to the OLED. Has all your face buttons, control sticks. But then on the right Joy-Con, whereas you normally have the plus button, which is usually used as the start button and a two controller setup, the normal face buttons, X, A, B, and Y, the control stick right below it, and then below that is the home button. But now below that we have a square shaped button, and we still have that square shaped button on the left Joy-Con, which is um, which is the capture button on current iterations of Joy-Con. So now it begs the question, what is this third button for? Because they removed the ability to share posts directly to social media from the Switch in recent updates. So that seems interesting. Um, got them M&M minis, y'all. Got to keep up. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, as far as the quote unquote shipping detail summary, um, got the Switch, left Joy-Con. Oh, you got the Switch, the Joy-Con, the dock, and then there's a detailed configuration list. I'm not sure what any of this stuff means. Okay, and so they're going over the system on a chip, the memory, the flash memory. Now, one thing that stood out for me with the flash memory was the UFS 3.1. And I believe we're on 4.0 right now. Now 3.1 is obviously faster than 3, but it's still a bit slow, especially for us to be in the decade that we're in. And the fact that these games are going to be more demanding in terms of raw power, and the Switch is going to be able to offer it to them to a certain extent, obviously. So by not being able to transfer and download files a bit quicker than 3.1 bothers me a bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. Also, internal storage is going to be starting at 256 this time, so that's interesting. There's still an NFC reader, so Joy-Con still supported. Problematic Twitter rants avoided on that one. There is a built-in microphone this time around, so I thought that was really interesting, considering that they've been against like direct voice chat for so long. Now, obviously, the microphone can also be used for video games themselves as a feature, like in WarioWare, get some wacky stuff going there. Or like just anything reminiscent of wacky things that they did with the Wii U, for instance, like on 3D World. Um, you had to blow into the microphone to move certain platforms and access certain areas. So that'll be interesting. um, Now, the video signal conversion, DisplayPort to HDMI, from my understanding, oh yeah, and by the way, it's going to support HDMI 2.1. If I sound uninterested, it's because I've already covered this. And it's so annoying. But I think I'm making it more concise this time, so maybe it's more bearable. Maybe this was the better option. But the video signal conversion thing, um, DisplayPort to HDMI, that's not currently what it is, right? From my understanding, DisplayPort is like not proprietary, obviously, because Nintendo doesn't own DisplayPort. And then y'all can make me look like a fucking idiot later by commenting. But I'm damn near certain that DisplayPort is not proprietary to Nintendo. But it does mean that they kind of have like proprietary cables, right? Because right now it's HDMI to HDMI. But anyway, there will be, as far as the network chip, there will be gigabit Ethernet enabled. So that's either Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, or Wi-Fi 7. Hopefully Wi-Fi 7, because even though that's relatively new and obviously it's going to cost a little more, I mean, we're right there, bro. Like, come on. Let's see, microcontroller chip model. Okay. Video game so video game console protective case model. So it's going to come with a case this time. And I'm so certain that that would be really comforting for parents that will 30% understand why their child needs another Switch, even though it's not the same thing, but they just are still so out of touch. So, yeah, I mean, not even just children, plenty of people have dropped their Switches and it just ended very badly. Joy-Con not connecting in the sense of the system being able to read it so that it operates normally in handheld mode, or just not snapping back in place at all. And so playing in handheld mode is impossible because one or both Joy-Con are just going to continue to slide off and then your Switch hits your lap. But yeah, we get down here to more images on this site, and I'm not sure if they're just showing like, so I'm guessing they're going to go with a two model setup this time, because they show two images of a Switch, and at least just looking at the kickstands, one looks like the normal Switch and one looks like the OLED, but the normal Switch kickstand model is notably smaller than the OLED. Now, I would like it if someone could remind me if that's always been the case, because I honestly, I mean, obviously the OLED is bigger, right? Because the screen is bigger, but that just looks like a substantial size difference. And then being able to look at the Joy-Con unattached to the Switch itself. These are most obviously not the same Joy-Con that we're used to seeing. You can see the lights on, like if the Joy-Con's facing toward you, like the buttons and the control stick, all of that is facing toward you, right? You can most definitely tell. I'm trying to see what that third button is. They added a texture onto it in this image down below, but I can't tell what it is. Huh. It'll be really interesting to see what that is. But yeah, if the Joy-Con is facing toward you, you can see the lights on it, which determines which player you are, right? Which number player you are. So that's brand new, obviously. Whereas before you had to turn the Joy-Con on the side or have it attached to a Joy-Con grip for the mirrors to show you which player you are. Um, and yeah, that like the railing is different, is what I'm trying to say. I'm so weird. Um, it looks like the side buttons even stick out more than before, which is definitely a plus. They're easier to press. And then there's an actual photo of the shell of these Joy-Con. Um, and there seems to be like some spaces in between the side buttons. I'm not sure how that's gonna operate, what that's gonna do for the experience. Um, but yeah, bigger side buttons, more easy to press, um, new railings. I mean, even on the Switch itself, um, you can see that the slots for the railings are different. Um, and the release button for the Joy-Con to detach it from either the Switch or a grip of some sort, it's side mounted in like it's almost like the release button, instead of sticking out away from the back of the Joy-Con itself, it's sticking out of the side. Like you've got the ZR button, right? And then on the left side of the ZR button in the back, you just got to see it. I sound like a fucking moron right now. And then looking at the top of the Switch, they're obviously going for a sleeker design here. The volume buttons are looking very chic. Then you've got um, the copper heatsink vent. You've got an auxiliary port, and then there looks to be an additional USB-C port. So hopefully this time around, we're getting support for USB headphones, because that was a big critique of mine, that they just never enabled that feature on the current Switch. And I'm not sure it's because they lacked the codec in the Switch to do so, which is more than likely the explanation, because I highly doubt that they would have something like that and just not enable it. They also need to add that to the new versions of the Pro controllers that they're going to inevitably do as well. Um, but yeah, that boring crap out of the way. Something that I just read today, the story came out on the 23rd though, but something that I just read today was Nintendo actually did approach AMD for a new chipset. And so I'm going to read this from notebookcheck.net. I've never heard of these guys, so shout out to them. This was the first version of this story that popped up for me. I'm kind of going to read through this because I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not familiar with how they write stories, so it's not going to be as simple for me to just go at it the way I have been going at it for the past 2 episodes. Okay, so reading the subtitle here. Leaked Switch 2 specs suggest that the upcoming gaming handheld will feature the NVIDIA Tegra T239 SoC. AMD reportedly wanted to power the console, but Nintendo didn't move forward with the company due to battery life concerns. And so, obviously, that means that it greatly hindered the handheld experience itself. And that's really unfortunate that they couldn't figure it out, because obviously, AMD and Samsung figured it out, but that's night and day. You got a smartphone versus a dedicated gaming console. So Nintendo has all of their proprietary software and their proprietary features and their proprietary firmware that they want included into this essential device. That's not what I was going to say originally. It was going to be something like, which is into their device, which is essentially a tablet, but calling it a glorified tablet does not change the fact that they need certain things to go off without a hitch or it's curtains, right? And so they cannot compromise on something like battery life for a gaming console. That's a big no-no, especially since they made that a new problem to have with the Nintendo Switch, because battery issues with handhelds was never really a thing to worry about before the Switch. I mean, as far as everything before the DS, these were batteries that you could go to the store, pop in, they die, pop out, pop in some new ones, right? And even with the DS, the DSi and the 3DS, all of those family of systems, from my understanding, it was very much it was very much not a problem, right? What the fuck is wrong with me? It was very much not a problem, right? I don't remember anyone ever really complaining about their DS or their 3DS dying too quickly. Now I can't speak as far as PSP and PS Vita go, especially since the PS Vita did not sell that well. I mean, technically, the Wii U gamepad did have some battery issues, in my opinion. And the weird part is that they sold a bigger battery for the Wii U. I'm not sure even most Wii U owners knew that, but there was an option to buy a bigger battery for the Wii U gamepad. Like, have you ever opened up the back of your Wii U gamepad? Like, there's hella space where the battery would sit. And that is because they offer a bigger model. And I'm just not really understanding why they didn't make sure that was in the brick and mortar stores. And maybe they were, but just by the time that I started going back to them, I mean, they just didn't offer it because the Wii U was a huge flop. But point being, this is a relatively new issue to have because of the Nintendo Switch. At least on a major scale, right? Okay. So getting into the actual article, let's see. However, as reported by Moore's Law is dead, AMD had the opportunity to power, but lost a bid because of battery life concerns. AMD reportedly wanted to aim for 15 watts in handheld mode to offer a true next-gen gaming experience, but Nintendo prioritized battery runtime more. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, this is why Nintendo is always going to win. Yes, I just got closer to the mic. Deal with it. This is why Nintendo is always going to win. This is why they will continue winning. Now, I'm not sure what that means, that they wanted to aim for 15 watts in handheld mode. I don't know what that means. Okay. I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to mean. But Nintendo prioritizing battery life over whatever the hell is really just a no-brainer for them, right? Obviously. The Japanese company didn't... Oh, I hate it when they do that. The ball-in rapper. Like, shut the hell up, bro. Just fucking... Oh, God. Just fucking tell it like it is. Stop being weird. Nintendo didn't want to pack a heavy battery either, so instead of going with an AMD APU... What the hell is an APU? Oh my gosh. Nintendo settled... Nintendo settled on the NVIDIA chip, which allegedly offers the same level of performance as AMD's proposition, but has better efficiency. Oh, that's gotta hurt, bro. AMD has been catching L after L recently, bro. Fuck. God. And I already knew that they were going to go back with NVIDIA anyhow. I feel like the only reason why they were even toying with the possibility of using AMD was because it was going to be cheaper. Potentially, right? Also, AMD is still a great name to have associated with your gaming endeavors. I mean, clearly it's working for Samsung, especially their TVs. But yeah, man, that sucks. I felt like they were gonna go with Nvidia anyway because I mean, I don't know how long the agreement is, but they had an agreement with Nvidia to use the Tegra X chip. Now, I'm not sure if that's specifically referring to the Tegra X1. I don't know. But apparently they're using the Tegra T239 this time around. So apparently that agreement has expired and they re-signed. Apparently. Obviously, apparently. Moreover, the NVIDIA SoC that the Switch 2 will pack is reportedly... Pack? Really? Oh, this is making me cringe. Is reportedly essential to keep costs low, as it's cheaper to manufacture. A leak from last week has also shed some light on the battery life that the upcoming gaming console may deliver. Can you just get to the point? May feature a 20 watt-hour battery, which could be 4 watt-hours more than the OLED model. How much of a difference is that? I mean, obviously that's a plus, right? But if the NVIDIA SoC is indeed power efficient, we could see a decent bump in terms of runtime and handheld mode. Hold on. So I've definitely got to shine some light on this, which would be 4 watt-hours more than the OLED model. So already they were able to secure it to a point where it's going to how do I word this? It's going to match the battery of the current Switch models, but then they said this one's going to be better than the last one. Because I mean, recently, as far as smartphones, you're not really seeing many promises of this battery got better. It's usually the same fucking battery. And then they're just like, oh, we'll just optimize it with software, And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, you could have just given us a bigger battery too, bro. I'm just saying. But this is nice. This is nice. For reference, the Switch OLED lasts anywhere from 4.5 to 9 hours, depending on the game being played. Ooh, so we're gonna break the 10-hour mark, guys. We're gonna break the 10-hour mark. Ah, I'm screaming. I'm screaming and shaking. I'm screaming, crying, pissing my boots. Actually, that's usually used in a negative context, right? Okay, luckily that was the end of the article. Fuck. Okay, good. Why did I sound upset? I'm giving mixed signals here. Okay, so the point being, we seem to be in really good shape with where the Switch 2 is going. Unfortunately, we did not get the AMD SoC. Really sad news. Really disappointing. You should have did better. The fuck am I doing? Yeah, they definitely should have done better. I mean, I know AMD is like the graphical kings, right? And they just offer only the best as far as graphics. But then you also have to think like NVIDIA could just use their DLSS software to upscale everything and it just not look like an upscaling. And everybody had already jumped onto that train like a year or two ago, saying how cool that would be for the next iteration of Switch. And it's gonna happen. That's the beauty of it. It's gonna happen. The Switch is gonna have it's gonna be in UHD. The Switch 2 is going to be in UHD when docked. That's what the HDMI 2.1 thing is about. That supports 2.1, I think, is up to 8K. I could be very wrong. Obviously, that does not matter, though. Switch 2 is not going to support 8K. And the consoles that are on market currently barely support that. And it especially won't be at 60 frames. So, again, very irrelevant. But good on Nvidia for making it happen. These guys went to $1 trillion real fucking quick. And you know what? They deserve it. They deserve it. And they've still got Nintendo as a customer. I told y'all that this shit was not coming out before 2025. Yeah, I'm throwing that in there. Because I told y'all this system was not going to come before 2025. They had to completely milk it, okay? They had to completely wring the rag dry. And I believe that they're very certain that they've done that now. I mean, hell, they got y'all buying 1,000 Year Door, bro. They got y'all buying Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Like, bro, they had to milk it, bro. But honestly, I can't wait to see where we're going with like dual releases and re-releases, because Tears of the Kingdom has got to be one of them, right? Everyone's been saying Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to be a dual release. I thought that was pretty obvious, especially since all they said was 2025. I thought that was pretty obvious. And since it is such a huge game and they saw how well Dread did, I'm on the train of they were ready to release Beyond this year or even last year. But well, I mean, not ready, but like that was probably like the internal goal, right? But they saw how well Dread did. I think that was back in 2021. I can't recall. Let's look this up real quick because I'm interested. Bro. Okay, so it was 2021. Yeah. So they saw how well it did in 2021. And they were like, yo, shit. This is kind of a big deal. Metroid is not dead. And yeah, that's going to be a dual release. Again, Tears of the Kingdom is going to get re-released. I can't think of a big enough game right now that would warrant a re-release. I feel like we're going to get Odyssey 2, though. Hopefully we get Odyssey 2 like launch day. I need a new 3D Mario. Like, this shit is absurd. This shit is absurd that we have not gotten a new 3D Mario since fucking Odyssey, bro. We could have gotten Odyssey 2. Y'all did Galaxy and you did Galaxy 2. And look at how popular the Wii was. That's why you did a Galaxy 2. This shit warranted an Odyssey 2. It was the fucking Nintendo Switch. Damn it. I just really felt like we deserved an Odyssey 2. Okay. That was like the most exciting Mario game I had ever played. Top 3 Mario games, and in my personal top 3 Mario games. And y'all know I don't fuck with Mario like that. But yeah, we got Odyssey, Wonder, and 3D World. Those are my favorite mainline Mario games. Deadass. Let me stop. Let me stop yapping and babbling, bro. We hit the 30-minute mark. I think that's pretty nice. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let this fade out. But yeah, I'm gonna. I want to go ahead and record this next episode, but I literally have to be at work in 5 hours. And because of how long I slept today from all of the bullshit throughout the week, I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep before going to work. So we definitely popping a caffeine drink before we go to work. All right. It's really sad. This is not an endorsement of caffeine. Do you fucking hear me? Don't let your kids casually drink caffeine. Give them Sprite. All right. Give them Starry. Don't let them just casually drink Coke and Mountain Dew. Give them 7-Up. All clear drinks. Well, all mainstream clear sodas, from my understanding, are caffeine free. Don't let them drink caffeine. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thanks for listening, you guys. Hopefully I didn't fucking bore your fucking brains out. It's just, it was very hard to get through that first part because I had already fucking recorded it. And it was like over 45 minutes long. So that's why I said this one was probably better because it was more concise. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and upload this. It's going to be out by 10 Pacific time. So midnight here, 1 a.m. Eastern. I know y'all be up, so you better fucking listen. 9 Mountain, right? Wait, damn it, not 9 Mountain. 11 Mountain, yeah. All right.